players ain't here right now. We ain't really got much to say. We look at people looking for stories to talk about. But when it starts to get to camp, let me explain something to you. Watch how slowly stuff start to shift and turn. The stark stances that you see people have, the night and day stances that people look like they about to die on that particular hill, watch how those different attitudes and perceptions start to shift as what I like to call figure out time. See, this is what the game of football is, and nobody is bigger than that. Everybody who is in this game understands that. It's figure out time. Because now training camp is here. And more importantly, you're going to get competition. So now, instead of a little mini camp battle that only 2 or 3 people was at, or 3 or 4 people came to show up, or they got the video out, the entire world sees it. You can't hide training camp footage during inter-squad scrimmages with other teams. Everybody's all over that. And when it comes down to these preseason games, you can't hide that. That's on national television. And guess what? A bunch of people gonna tune in. So whatever, the time for spin is done, because it's all about what you put on that paper, on that film work, right? It's what you put on the work in on the field. And when you drop in dimes and your team is behind you and you scoring touchdown Browns, there ain't nothing nobody can do. You just got to sit there and take that. What you gonna say? Can't say nothing. So watch how this starts. Watch how this start to cook. Watch how it matriculates. It starts slow. Start by saying, well, I think he got an opportunity and a chance. Then it starts by, well, he's done a good job in the offseason. He's acclimated himself. Then he starts to say, well, you know, he always had second round talent. Always had it. You know, Shedeur has always been balling, but, you know, it's just the fact that we had to put it all together. I think him sliding really put it in perspective for him and drove him. Well, you know, they are really impressed by the way he's really done over the offseason. And it's night and day from where he was at the time. So that summer prepper, those 3 weeks, we'll give him credit because he really dialed in, locked in, and really put the extra work in. And right now I can say he's on the same level as the other. Okay. That's how it starts. You slowly but surely get that Billie Jean. You say, what that mean? You start moonwalking. You get that Billie Jean. Annie, are you okay? You get that glittery glove on, you start moonwalking. Because that's what it be. You got to moonwalk after a while, because guess what? We're going to find out. So let me give you some footage. Shout out to this guy too. Shout out to Nick Wilson over at 92.3 The Fan. Shout out to them. I was just over there with Jonathan Peterlin. He just came back from, matter of fact, we want to go check this out. So I'm going to play this clip here. This is Nick Wilson. This is courtesy of 92.3 The Fan. And Nick Wilson sparked this conversation. Nick Wilson is the person, I'll give him credit for being a catalyst in what we're talking about today, because he has seen the light. Oh, they have seen the light. It's coming around. I'll give him credit because he's starting to point out something that I've always been talking about, that I've been consistently talking about. And that is, stop trying to use this 5th round magic. It's not working. This 24 karat magic, this Bruno Mars is not working, because people is now seeing what it is. It's not a gimmick. Talent is what's going to get him on the field. Knowledge, his ability to throw the football, all those things is what got him here. It's not your narrative. Here we go.
Want to treat Shedeur like a 5th round pick. Now I get it. but you have to be open to that second round talent being the thing that sparks your own curiosity. He's got to do it, guys. I know he's got to do it. I'm not here to say where some people just want to give him things. Nope. It's the NFL. And I think he's got a great personality, so I think he'll naturally endear himself to his teammates. But how you really endear yourself to your teammates are work harder than everyone, know the playbook better than everyone, execute better than everyone, be the most physically talented quarterback or somewhere in that conversation. Shedeur has that opportunity. And if he doesn't, and the Browns stick to this idea of the things that they allowed to tamp down the Shedeur hype into camp, into the regular season, if he's doing everything that matters and you still treat him like a fifth-round pick, then at some point on a team with really just not great quarterback options, you are harming yourself. And that is exactly how you get fired. So don't do that.
Whoa. Hold on. Look, hold on. Let me take this. Hold on. Listen. Hey, chat. I ain't even say that. You see what I'm saying? I didn't say G. Bush. And you know how I get down in the barbershop. Hey, chat. He figured it out. Came to him. If you're going to play these reindeer games, if you're going to be playing the shadow game, you're not going to win this. You're not. Why are you trying to play games when all you got to do is see what you got and roll with it? If you want to play these games where it's like, oh, he's a fifth round, this and this, and what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to sit here all season and do this game back and forth with people. Because I somehow think that people believe that they can sabotage a whole team full of people's season just so they could play around. You're playing around at this point. Let's not act like he's a fifth round pick. We know why he was a fifth round pick. Even the people that don't even necessarily think he was a top 2 pick understand that he's a top 2 in first 2 rounds talent. If you think, listen, come on, man. You think Jackson Dart better than him? You know he ain't. But you use this mythical thing to put over. You use this blanket. And the problem I got with this blanket is, in the backdrop of all of this, is the fact that you feel that you are so secure in your job that you can play games with the quarterbacks, not play who you're supposed to play, lose a bunch of games, and we're going to keep showing up. We don't come to watch the Kevin Stefanski, Andrew Berry show. I need to give people a heads up with this. See, Nick Wilson is understanding in real time how this thing works. Hey, I'm gonna just keep it real with y'all. You know how there's a whole large, loud contingency of people that just showed up in Cleveland now, that are very vocal in every comment section, that are very vocal when at any turn of the hat, hold your feet to the flames. You think that you can come out here, play around, play Kenny Pickett for 7 to 10 games because you like his long flowing hair, or you like the way he wears 2 gloves, and then lose 12 games, 13 games in a row, and you think people ain't going? It don't work that way. It don't. It's easy to say take L's this right now. It's easy to run around and say, oh, take these L's. Let's take these losses. We don't even really got to play none of these dudes. Let's go ahead and keep. It's easy to say that now, but guess what? When you start taking them L's in September, and then October, then Christmas and Thanksgiving is coming up and you still taking L's, you think people gonna sit around here and hang out and say, oh, well, at least we got Kevin Stefanski. We do not come see coaches play. Stop trying to sell me this. Y'all finally starting to get it with the Guardians, ain't y'all? You find I love when y'all finally come around, come into the fold. The Guardian sat around, and every time we talk about, do you got some bats or you doing something, they tell me how great the front office is because they do the most with the least, and they're handcuffed because the owner won't pay no money. Stop it. I don't come to see nobody in the front office. Stop telling me about general managers. You know what you should be? Silent. Show me the win. Here's how I know what a good coach is. Ain't no headlines. Here's why I know what a general manager is. I don't know who he is. Only thing I know is every time the Browns go up to the podium in the NFL draft, they keep getting steals. Every time I look around, a 4th or 5th or 6th round pick is hitting you like, who is this guy? Well, the general manager. Who's the general? We don't know. It's the Wizard of Oz. I don't know what he does. That's what general managers are. Stop trying to sell me on, we got the regime and we got, listen, y'all got y'all stadium. But let me tell you something. Y'all think y'all can play around this year? Some of y'all won't see it. You won't even make it. My dad always told me, my dad, he probably in church right now, somewhere doing Bible study. It's 9:00. He getting ready for Sunday. He said, you know what, son? In the Bible, there were some good people that never saw the promised land. That's deep. Some people ain't fit to see the promised land. I was like, dang, bro. You just walk around in the wilderness? I didn't say it. He said it. And his assessment is correct. I'm dropping a bomb on this. I'm bringing this all the way back. Because this is, he's telling you. You can see the realization in his face. Like, nah, y'all was trying to sell us on these 2 old dudes earlier. They may get some minutes, but we're not going to play around with the whole, all right, we about to waste this year, not let them play, and then come back and say, well, we're going to pick our guy. No, and this is the backdrop of this. I'm going to give you this too. Now, hold on. Let me take this down. I'm going to put this back up. Because here's what we're doing. Hold on. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. It's a quote. So it says, you show me a NFL coach who has won consistently without a good starting quarterback, and the list has to be very small. This is a column. This was on King Carmen's show, 92 Through the Fair. Mary Kay said this on Kevin Stefanski's job being in jeopardy while finding their quarterback of the future. You see, this is the thing that we push against and we fight against. I'm into the fierce urgency of right nowness. You're not gonna sell me on make this make sense. So you saying that you drafted 2 quarterbacks this year, but you're saying that this is about finding the quarterback of the future. But in the present, you don't want to play the 2 guys, or you don't want to give them any opportunity to see what they can do. But you want to say it's still the present, but you playing people from the past. You see, you got to make this make sense. Because you're caught between a rock and a hard place. And the reason people are caught between a rock and a hard place is because the logic is flawed. And if you make people answer to what you're saying, it won't make sense. So the Cleveland Browns are saying, show me a coach who has consistently won without a starting quarterback, right? I go back to it. When they got here, Baker Mayfield was here. We didn't get rid of Baker Mayfield. Whether we are detractors or whether we like Baker or whether we thought what he was, it is the Cleveland Browns' decision, and it's the Cleveland Browns brass that is their job and decision to choose whether or not Baker Mayfield was playing or not playing, or they wanted him to be a part of the organization. They made the decision. I didn't make the decision. You didn't. Kevin Stefanski did. Deshaun Watson, we did not make that decision. We can tell you whether we liked it or not, but we didn't make that decision. They made the decision. So for all the people that want to hold people, like, no, you can't do it. Stop trying to hold people accountable for everything that he is responsible for. I didn't go meet Deshaun Watson. I don't care if I liked him or not. I don't care if that was my brother. I didn't go meet him. The Cleveland Browns went and met him. The Cleveland Browns went and changed the offensive coordinator. That's what they did. Now, the Cleveland Browns, this draft class, this one, had an opportunity. They could have took Travis Hunter. They could have took Jackson Dart. They could have took a bunch of people. They chose the picks. Nobody showed up and hijacked the draft for the Cleveland Browns. Nobody, no fan, no media member went over and turned in the card for them. They made the decision. Not me, not Mary Kay, not nobody on Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, no fan, not the Dog Pound, nobody. It was the Cleveland Browns organization through their own free will. So you're telling me they drafted the people and then don't want them to play? They drafted them, but they don't seem like they want them to get any minutes to see if they can evaluate them. You got two dudes that you know ain't franchise quarterbacks that you're starting over the people you drafted. So here's my thing. What is it? Either you're incompetent or you're frauds. Because if you knew you didn't want to play those guys, you were the one evaluating them. Why take them? Why? I'll go back and play this. Let's get back to it. Nick Wilson, he points it out. I can't make it up. Let me know. And if you listen, and if you disagree, let me know. Let me know how this makes any sense. How it makes any sense, you let me know. I want to see your mental gymnastics on this. How we listen, how we've gotten to the point where it's like, how are we actually acting like we're coming to see Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski play? They ain't take no snaps, but they just get to stay. They just get to. You've been here for 6 years. You've gotten to hire your staff and your coaching staff. You've gotten to evaluate a quarterback that was here. You've got to go out and trade for quarterbacks using assets. You've got draft picks this year, capital. You could have got all the picks, but you want to tell me you want to suck this year so that you can go next year and say, this class is better. That ain't how it works in life. As an employer, I got to deal with staffing today. I am tasked with staffing that position today. I can't go to my boss and say, listen, we're understaffed right now. We're not meeting our quota. Revenue goals is down. But you want to tell me, well, listen, I didn't like none of these batches of candidates. So in the next 6 months, there's a graduating class of seniors coming out of John Carroll that I think is going to be much better. Much better. Bring them on down here, and I guarantee we can get them in 6 months. He said, listen, bro, your job is to get the talent available at the time and then maximize it. That's what we hired you for. That's why you're in leadership. So you can take C players and make them Bs. Take B players and make them As. And then develop A players so that you can make your whole team better. Because now, instead of you doing all the work, you can empower the A player to start taking some of these delegations off, to start giving back to people, sharing their knowledge, imparting their knowledge, so we can promote, get them out. And then guess what? More A players want to play on your team because guess what? They see what you did with that A player. But that's just corporate America. I guess that don't work in football. But these are Fortune 500 companies, I do think. Talk to them, Nick Wilson. Talk to them.
You want to treat Shedeur like a 5th round pick. Now, I get it. But you have to be open to that 2nd round talent being the thing that sparks your own curiosity. He's got to do it, guys. I know he's got to do it. I'm not here to say where some people just want to give him things. Nope. It's the NFL. And I think he's got a great personality, so I think he'll naturally endear himself to his teammates. But how you really endear yourself to your teammates are work harder than everyone, know the playbook better than everyone, execute better than everyone, be the most physically talented quarterback or somewhere in that conversation. Shedeur has that opportunity. And if he doesn't, and the Browns stick to this idea of the things that they allowed to tamp down the Shedeur hype into camp, into the regular season, if he's doing everything that matters and you still treat him like a fifth-round pick, then at some point on a team with really just not great quarterback options, you are harming yourself. And that is exactly how you get fired. So don't do that.
Courtesy of 92.3 The Fan. He said it, I did. But he is correct. His assessment is spot on. This is why I've always given my dissertations in life. And I've always said, people at the highest level, you know what alarmed me? You know what alarmed me the most was that, okay, I'll give you a quick aside. As I got back into broadcasting in high school, my team, we won the USA Today National Championship. That's the #1 high school team in America. We had 12 Division I scholarship athletes, Cam McKinley. And I then I started doing play-by-play after my, career or whatever, and got into broadcasting. And I had an opportunity to talk to my old football coach, interview Tom McDaniels. He is the father of Josh McDaniels, coordinator for Tom Brady, all the Super Bowls, His other son, Ben, he's been a receivers coach, quarterback coach in the NFL for a long time through the Texans. He's been at University of Michigan. So, their family obviously has been in the game of football for a long time. Tom McDaniel was in the National High School Hall of Fame. And I had a question. I said, when we played in 1997, he gave me a little bit of a story. He said, we played this team called St. Ignatius. And if you know in the area, St. Ignatius is a great school. Chuck Kyle is their coach, Catholic school. And we were a public school. And we started playing St. Ignatius. And as a public school who can't recruit, we just had kids from the neighborhood. So Chuck Kyle and St. Ignatius used to beat the brakes off of us. I remember going to the games back in like 92. Dating myself here. 92, and I'm seeing people just beat us. And I'm like, man, these Ignatius guys, they used to come down, they had an 80-man roster, 40 on offense, 40 on defense. Nobody played both ways. And they come down here, and these white dudes they had the big, 6'5", 320. I'm like, ain't nobody seen nothing like that in high school. So fast forward, we get a little older, we get to about 1996, we played them again. And everything that we were doing was trying to beat them, right? They implemented an off-season program where we ran, and it was mandatory lifting, and guys, we were building our program. Guys who played on that team, Kenny Peterson, he went to Ohio State, he played in the league. Dustin Fox was from that area, went to Glen Oak, he played in the league. Mike Doss, Ohio State Buckeye, he was on that team. 12 Division I guys. And we started building our roster. We started building up, and we got to a point where our coaches was like, all right, we got to get disciplined. We got to play as disciplined and as hard as they do. And the gap started to close. 1996 comes around. We get to 1997. We're up 10-0. We thought we had it won. They pulled it out. That offseason, USA Today goes to our coach, Tom McDaniels, and says, hey, we see your roster. You guys got all these athletes. You guys are monsters. You guys have professional players on the squad. We want to rank you #1 in the country. And our coach at the time said no. Say what? Now, as I'm talking to him now, I said, Coach, why would you say no? And he said, I didn't think we were ready for it. I didn't think I didn't think we had the right mindset to be able to deal with that. And he told him no. And they called him back again. And he said he'll think about it. He went to Coach Chuck Kyle, the team that is saying the nation state had beat him all those years. We could never beat him. And the year he goes to Coach Kyle and says, hey, they want to rank us number one. What do you think about us being number one? And do you think that's good for your program and do? And Coach Kyle said, listen, do it. He said, when you give somebody that mantle and you put the responsibility on them, you're going to find out. It's either make you or it's going to break you. So when we put that mantle on, he said, okay, I'll do it. That very next year, 1997, we had lost to them all those other years. Couldn't get over the hump. We beat them twice in 1 year. Once at home with over 30,000 people at a high school football game, and the next time at an instant classic at the Akron Rubber Bowl with over 40 some odd thousand people there. We won twice against them and won the national championship. Now here's the thing. Sometimes you're not going to understand if somebody can handle the pressure. But the thing that you cannot do is live in your fears. Sometimes the expectation has to lift for you to understand where you want to be. And right now for the Cleveland Browns, one of the things that you're doing is you're living in your fears. I don't care how many quarterbacks came before. Baker, all of them. Who cares? You got young dudes that's ready to play. Always remember, your baggage ain't necessarily somebody else's baggage. Don't come into no relationship thinking that, oh, this is how everything's going to work just because you had a couple bad situations. Nah, some people come in and say, I've been doing this. I always won wherever I was at. I don't have to be, you don't got to give me a pep talk. Nah, I'm already ready to go how we going to move today. Sometimes you just need a couple of people. And I've always believed that when the Browns find a quarterback or find the person who's supposed to be to head the team, all you need is a couple. You could change the world with two, 3 people. Contrary to what people want to believe, all you need is 1 or 2 people locked in step, ready to go. That have a healthy dose of I don't care what you've been through. That's what you need to lift people that have been down. And so sometimes where I hear people talk, and this is why things change, is you got to realize that certain people ain't been through what you've been through, and that's great. I want somebody that I can look at and say, well, listen, I don't care what you went through yesterday. I'm talking about what we're doing today. And that's the thing that the Cleveland Browns got to get to. Kevin Stefanski, the best way for you to save your job, forget about saving your job. The best way for you to thrive is to say, let me show you what he don't even know yet, bro. I be getting, he don't even know. You know what you can say? If Shedeur Sanders hits, I drafted him in the 5th round when you fools didn't take him. They told me to start this guy and that guy and this guy over here. You know what I did? I poured into him. I said, yo, let's lock in. Let me show you how to elevate your game, and let me give you the opportunity to be a leader. See, people, when you empower people, they'll run through a brick wall for you. They don't know that. When you empower somebody and say, man, these dudes didn't even know. These dudes passed on you. Let me show you what we gonna do. Boy, but what? They're gonna say, listen, this is where I'm supposed to be at. That's the quickest way. They'll give you a lifetime deal. Bro, your quickest way to a lifetime deal is attaching yourself to the dude. And let me give you this. And I like also what Nick Wilson said right there. It's a healthy dose of skepticism that should be there. You know why? Let me give you this. Because if you are the franchise quarterback, there's responsibilities that come with that. When they find a franchise quarterback, you are automatically jettisoned into a position above all else. It goes the owner, then you. The owner, and then you. When you mention the Baltimore Ravens, what do you say? Lamar Jackson. People don't, I know the owner's name. Bashadi, I know the owner's name, but I'm in the game. Don't nobody know what the owner's name is. Don't nobody really care what the head coach is. When you say Buffalo Bills, it's Josh Allen. Don't nobody care who the owner is, who the coach is. You know why? The Buffalo Bills are Josh Allen. That's the way the game works. And when you are the top of the food chain, they need to trust you. Because guess what? My recruiting coordinator used to say, hey, my wife and my kids are shopping and in school and private school because of you. If you don't get no sacks, I'm gonna be gone. So I need you to get these sacks. It's the same thing. If you want to, everybody is, if you have a bad year, they're not getting rid of the franchise quarterback. They're getting rid of the coach or the coordinator. Huh? That's what's going to happen. So they need to vet you. They need to know that, yeah, if I talk to you behind closed doors, you got my back. I need to know that, yeah, you're gonna do the right stuff, because at the end of the day, they listen to who you should sign, who you should bring back, who you should cut, what uniforms you want to wear this week, what commercials you want. Do you want to go to training camp over here? That's how it works. So that's why they got to vet you out. But when you get it, you got it, you good. We don't have these same conversations in Cincinnati or Buffalo or Baltimore or Kansas City. We don't got them like that. Or Philadelphia or Washington. When you get you a guy, you good. But don't cut your nose off. Don't play yourself. And DJ Khaled, don't play yourself. If you got something, take the blessing. Now let's get to this. This is why it's so frustrating when people want to just keep acting like Shedeur Sanders is a legit 5th round pick. They just really want to act like, oh, he was 5th round because he don't have an arm, he can't throw the ball, he can't do any of that. No, he was a 5th round pick because people's like, I don't want to answer questions about Shedeur, or I don't want to have to put him in a rotation and everybody clamors for him. I don't want the headache of it. But the fact that the no,
where do you if let's say he was the exact same player and his name was Joe Schmo, where would he have been drafted?
I don't care if his name was
worst second.
I don't care if his name was Milton Bradley.
Where do you think he would have been drafted?
It's worst second round. At worst,
I believe he would have been drafted in the 2nd round.
At worst, 2nd round. But I think I do believe that after talking to Aditi yesterday, I do believe that, and just listening to people talk about him, period, is everybody is making this assumption that what he did at Colorado, as far as terminology and all those things, isn't translating for whatever reason to the NFL.
You passed on Travis Hunter, okay? You got another pick for next year.
Yeah.
You got Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round because you said you liked him. Shedeur was a 2nd round talent. People think he got a lot of talent. You got him. But it seems like people are so reluctant to even give these people an opportunity to show what they can do because they want to fast forward this year to get to next year. Like, it's like, yeah, we know that.
Are you talking about Stefanski?
No, I'm talking about in general, people, the media and people in general, certain fans.
Right.
So it's like, okay, I get that you don't want to ruin them. I get that you don't want to put them in there too fast, but I'm not going to be sitting here watching Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco for 16 games. And then you say, oh, well, next year, there's a guy we like, so we're going to take that guy. Fast forward this year, you don't see what Dylan Gabriel can do. You don't see what Shedeur Sanders can do. And for a team that's 3-14, you don't have the luxury of wasting draft picks. If you did not like these two, if you don't think that they can play, don't draft them.
I agree.
But that's
it is what it is. If you did not think they could play, why'd you take them? I'm not going to entertain it. I'm just not going to do it. Maybe other people can do it, but I'm not going to fast forward this year, try to act like you're slick and you don't understand what you're doing. See, a lot of, look, let me just say it. A lot of people didn't want him here. A lot of people had whatever their biases and thoughts what it was. Now he's here. You can't lie and say he can't play. So now what you're gonna do is promotion, demotion. Well, I'm looking out for the best interests of you. You know how somebody insults you, right? And then you insult your intelligence, you'd be like, yeah, what I'm trying to really do though, I'm trying to help you out. So like somebody come over to your plate. Well, listen, man, I know you, it looks like you're a little overweight. What I'm going to do for you is I'm going to go grab your plate and I'm going to finish off that steak in your plate while you eating it, because what I'm trying to do is save you. Your cholesterol look high, your blood pressure, borderline. It's in your family's background. So what I'm going to do is let me come over here and take that steak up off your plate and do you a favor. And you sitting there trying to finish your food and you say, how dare this person put their hand in my plate and try to act like they was helping me out, like they was concerned for my well-being. You ain't concerned for my well-being. You just being disrespectful. What you talk about? Now it's, oh, we gon' wait. No, we ain't gonna do it. Nope. I'm looking out for your best interest. Like you playing lions or bears out there. There's no damn grizzly bears out there, people. You think Shedeur Sanders is going up for a pack of hyenas? All this protecting stuff. You think he's going against 5 silverback gorillas? You're gonna ruin them. Y'all think y'all real smart. And then after you don't play a whole year, you're the first one that says, we need a quarterback. We're drafting this guy. Let me get to the comments, man. There's 600 comments in here. Let's get to it.